because I read in Miami papers and several others that there had been a plan developed by that same agency, a contingency plan in the event of emergency that would suspend the American Constitution. And I was deeply concerned about it and wondered if that was the area in which he had worked. I believe that it was,
May I most respectfully request that that matter not be touched upon at this stage. If we wish to get into this, I'm certain arrangements can be made for an executive session.
And tragically, the only member who got close was Jack Brooks, and he was stopped by the chairman. But the truth of the matter is that, yes, you do have those standby provisions, and the plans are there, and the statutory emergency plans are there, whereby you could, in the name of stopping terrorism, apprehend, invoke the military, and arrest Americans and hold them in detention camps. In times of passion and in times of great fear, what to the eyes of the person and the mind of a person in time of relative peace and stability seem impossible become very real, very logical, very possible.
Across the nation, at airports and old military bases, they're installing hangars and structures to intern the American people under military control. They're also integrating local police. You've already seen some of the evidence. But even the town where I live, Austin, Texas, is not immune from these activities. The Robert Mueller Municipal Airport in Austin, Texas. Just one more town where the military and the police are moving in and forming bonds. Folks, we've been denied access to the old Robert Mueller Municipal Airport that they just shut down about 2 months ago. All we've seen is a Fox News piece where they showed the detainment center they put in one of the old 747 hangars with bolts and chains in the floor and cots. And now the military's taking it over. So they shut down Bergstrom Air Force, and they've moved all sorts of weird Army activity here to the front parking lot of the old airport. And in the back, they've got APCs and barbed wire and everything else you can imagine. It's 700 plus acres out here at the airport, and we just got word of this. It just never ends. It just never ends.
Let me do a sweep of the...
They're looking at us.
Who's looking at you? He's pointing. Here comes one of the trucks. Let me get you interviewed. Hurry, he's coming. He's coming. I want to get you interviewed. You stop him.
Hey, how you doing? What's going on, bud? We're just curious what the military's doing out on the old airport.
They're having maneuvers.
They're having a what?
Maneuvers.
We're told that there's a holding facility here on the old Robert Mueller Municipal Airport. A hangar to hold people. Have you been inside there?
No, not since they fixed it up, I haven't. I was in before they fixed it up.
How did they fix it up?
Travis County came out here and with some inmates, and they cleaned it all up, swept it, pulled weeds, and then they got inside and reinforced the doors and stuff with bars and stuff.
So they put bars on the that's one of the big hangars, right?
That's what I was told, yes. I haven't been in there.
Did you hear about the chains in the floor with the bolts?
No, I sure haven't.
Yeah. We saw it on Fox News. We had known of the facility for months before the mainstream media reported on it. But we were barred access despite the fact that we contacted the city of Austin dozens of times. We also contacted Travis County, attempting to gain access to the facility. But again, we were barred. Ah, but the mainstream media, they can be trusted. It's so much fun. It's no big deal. It's nothing to worry about. We're about to air a couple of newscasts here. Now, I was saying from day one that Y2K, the rollover, wasn't going to be a big problem, that it was really an opportunity for the establishment to have an excuse to take over local police departments and to put in more and more federal control, and this has been borne out to be absolutely true. Because after Y2K, the new center is still lying in wait, manned by troops. Again, right here in America, as you have this merger of the police and the military. For your security, they claim. The locals, they just buy the fraud.
Then, Diane, where exactly are you?
Well, you probably don't recognize it, but it's an abandoned hangar at the old airport just off 51st Street. Today and tomorrow, sheriff's employees are turning this place into a booking center and even a holding cell. Now, it really doesn't look like much, and okay, it's really not, but it is a perfect place to set up shop. Anyone arrested in the Travis County area during the New Year's Eve party for a Class C misdemeanor will be brought out here. Sheriff's officials tell me it's pretty primitive. Inmates will be fingerprinted and allowed 2 free phone calls. Then they'll be held here for about 4 hours, just enough time to sober up. Then they'll be released and expected to appear in court in the future. Only people who have ID on them will be brought out here, since they won't have the capability to run fingerprint checks, and they're mostly expecting people arrested for public intoxication down in the A2K and 6th Street areas. This temporary booking facility opens up for business tomorrow night. That's Thursday at 8 o'clock.
We're hoping to get staff acclimated to working in this environment starting tomorrow, with hopefully a low volume of arrests. So hopefully by come Friday night, everyone will know how the flow is going to work in here and be used to it.
The holding cell is surrounded by this chain link fence, and the fire marshal has told the sheriff's department that they can hold about 380 people in here, and the sheriff's deputies are ready for a busy night, Friday night.
Diane, lots of space out there to sober up.
Now watch, 2 separate newscasts, and they both say the same thing. Oh, it's no big deal. Oh, it's a small little thing. No problem. It's really no big deal. Just get used to it. Boy, their newscasts are really close together. Yeah, just don't worry about it. It's just a thing out there with the military. Well, I really should be fair. There was one difference in the newscast. One newscast did show the bolts in the floor and the fence inside, and the chains running through the galley-like setup, but the other one didn't.
What's going on at the old airport?
This is where the party could end up, Walt, if A2K and Y2K partiers do get out of hand. The sheriff's office has taken an old hangar out here at Miller Airport and turned it into a makeshift jail, a holding cell. You can see where they even had to hand make a sign. This is where they'll bring the minor offenders, mostly the drunks. They expect more than 100 people. It's quiet right now, but they expect once the parties pick up, so will this little mini jail that they've created out here at the airport. But before we arrived here, we wanted to also drive around town and see what else is going on in Austin tonight.
I'm going to do stuffed sole.
Well, I'm going to do you a favor. We're going to skip the cooking recipes. See how they equate cooking with, camps out at the airport. And then they cut back to the camps. More psychology. I don't even know if these reporters know what they're doing, or is it just the training? Ah, yes, fireworks and pizza and a video with the family and the strange facility out at the airport.
And he says one of his biggest clients was the city of Austin. He says he sold more than 40 cases of ready-to-make meals to the city. So it seems like everyone is ready for just about anything, from home to here at this makeshift jail. Walt?
Okay, at least there's plenty of parking at the airport there.
And there's plenty of parking for anybody who wants to come down here and grab a cot.
All right, thank you, Andy.
Well, I guess you're starting to pinch yourself right about now. You think you're in Invasion of the Body Snatchers or John Carpenter's They Live, or perhaps John Carpenter's The Thing. Look at them smiling. Oh, you can come down, have a cut. I've lived in Austin for many years, and I've talked to many people. No one in any memory can remember any problems in Central Texas, riots, you name it. Why then have they refurbished this hangar and turned it into a detention center? And again, why is this trend growing across the country? They may use a lot of different excuses, but we all know what's behind it: control. Long before Columbine, we were out on the scene in Austin, Texas, exposing what was happening to the middle schools. They're being turned into mini prisons. Oh,
And guess who's behind it, keeping our children safe again? The Federal Emergency Management Agency.
Our children being brought up in a police state mentality. Thumbs scanning to get driver's license, cameras on the street corners, cameras inside the schools, and fences around the schools. All part of federal schooling. And again, Clinton wants to expand this even further. What type of society are our children growing up in? Big Brother. They're going to take good care of them. Well, here we have it, keeping the youth safe. Locked from the outside, locked from the inside. Again, this is the village, Hillary Clinton's village. This is reminiscent of the Soviet Union. Well, here we have some more of the security precautions to keep the children safe. We have the steel grating on the windows. Again, all part of keeping the children safe.